okay with paying
That's right.
$10,000 more.
I think you were on the couch or something like that.
But the couch, we
Right.
can bath.
Oh, no, you bunked with me. Hi, I'm Tim Somerville.
And I'm Michael Dempsey, and this is Off the Market with Team Somerville.
My goodness, another episode. This is awesome.
Absolutely. And we are now a good several days into April, which is fantastic. We're starting to get a little bit of that spring weather.
What?
So it got me thinking, okay, we're into April, but I don't think we've taken the chance or the opportunity to discuss how was the first quarter.
Okay.
So if we look at this quarter, this year versus last year, what are some of the statistics? So I just want to throw it out there. So our sales activity has actually been down.
Okay.
9%.
Expected that.
We expected that. And again, there's a lot of factors that play into that. The biggest one, of course, is, some of the weather. If you look at, we did have a couple storms here and there, and it got me thinking, like, if we had, I don't know, 4 huge blizzards in 1 month, hypothetically,
Okay.
some sales would go up at the grocery stores.
Sure.
Because by a second storm coming in, they're like, I ran out of storm cherry last time. That's right. They're stocking now. So it's certainly, when people are shut in and they don't want to go out, it's going to take a toll on all sales.
Of course.
Real estate.
Of course.
The auto industry.
Vehicles. That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
So we look at our dollar volume. Our dollar volume was down slightly just because of what we did sell was of a lower price point than previous year. We could have had a big sale last year that had helped but play with those statistics.
That's right.
But overall, the average sale price has hovered around the same.
Good.
So
Over 3?
Yes, 356, and that's 356 encompasses everything.
Wow.
Land, commercial, all that good stuff.
Okay.
So the average sale price again still hovering around the same, which is great news to our sellers. They're still getting the price that they are, can expect.
Yeah.
It gives our buyers more opportunity to know where they need to be.
Okay.
You still get the odd Hail Mary here and there.
Yes.
I know personally you've had clients where, let's say they've hypothetically lost on 2 or 3 houses.
Okay.
By the time that 4th house comes around, they're like, you know what? I'm okay with paying
That's right.
$10,000 more. Or,
That's right.
they're like, I want this house and I'm,
Well, we're also seeing some conditional offers. And so these accepted offers, we may have some, but they just are not being recorded as of yet because they are waiting for the sale of their home. And once that happens, we'll have the snowball effect. And then all of a sudden, hopefully, we'll see.
I'm glad you brought that up because you have a couple transactions that are in queue. And so to better explain what Tim's talking about is you yourself, you're selling your home, but you need to sell it to buy property A. Well, property A needs to sell so they can buy property B. And currently, I think we have 4 in queue.
Yeah.
There's 4 homes
Big
that
snow.
all need to sell.
Yeah, big snow.
In order to, so it's going to be a busy closing date. That's slated for end of April.
That's right.
So it's going to be fun.
Oh, yes. Always. We'll roll up our sleeves and see what we can do.
Absolutely.
So when you talk about the market then, still a good time to buy. Absolutely. Interest rates are still decent.
Very.
It's just
steady.
Yeah, just means that when you're going through your process, you still have to have, of course, you slide on the air of caution, and what you're what you're just wanting to make sure is that what you're paying is something that you can not only afford, that you're comfortable with, but that you feel that, again, when we look at, other market statistics, are more or less, I would say, comparable to years past. Because what we're seeing is we're not seeing any large spikes anymore.
No.
Right? So if we're seeing this is our new norm. This is a good steady. It makes us, I wouldn't say easier, but it allows us to say, hey, guess what? That seems to be a fair price. Because when we were going through COVID, people would ask, what's this home worth? And we only had one answer to our client, and that was, it's not what we think it's worth. Yeah. It's really what you think it's worth, because homes were selling for substantially more than what we ever expected. I remember talking to you about one, and it's like, Mike, it's not up to us anymore. Yeah. Well, it's starting to come back to that. We're starting to be able to bring back to our clients and say, hey, this seems to be the average. So that's good. That's good news.
Well said.
Okay.
Well said.
So,
So talking about, your home's your sanctuary. It's your place where you hang your head at the end of the day. Well, some other places we like to hang our heads is when we go away on vacation.
Sure.
Maybe we go on a conference or something like that. We stay at typically a hotel.
that's right.
So I want to throw it out there and have a great debate with my friend Tim here. Are Airbnbs actually worth it to some personnel? So for example, let's pretend you and I, we are going to a conference next week in
That's right.
Charlottetown, PEI. Good we go town.
Good.
So I pulled up a basic Airbnb. It's a small little cottage. I had to pick one with 2 beds. No
Okay.
offense. I know we both like to be the big spoon. So, so 2 beds. And again, no breakfast included. So you and I would probably grab a breakfast sandwich and a coffee.
That's right.
Not a big deal.
But they usually have the kitchen. So again, if we're there for
and
any period of time,
we could pick up some bacon, some eggs,
Yeah.
things like that. So for the 2-night average spend was $460.
Okay.
That's just for 2 nights at the Airbnb. I wrote down, maybe 30 or 40 bucks for us to grab breakfast on the go, or if we picked up a few things.
that's right.
So I'll round up a little bit. $500 for us to have a place to stay, and for those 2 nights while we're attending this conference.
Okay.
Down the road is your average run-of-the-mill, wonderful Holiday Inn.
Okay, got it.
Okay, 2 nights. We got our separate beds. We have our breakfast continental.
That's right.
Where do we like to go? The pool. Maybe hot tub, then back into the pool.
That's right.
So the hotel is going to have some other amenities that the Airbnb wouldn't. And so for those 2 nights, taxes included, was $338.
Okay.
So we see there's savings in the hotel, but my argument is not about savings, it's the value. You brought up the value of the selling homes and things like that. So I know we stayed at a nice Airbnb in Calgary once. I guess to the average consumer, what is more important to you? Like in the hotel, you may have, maybe some intoxicated individuals running down the hallways
But it
at
was
1 a.m.
But it was more than that. The Airbnbs and VRBOs and so forth are great when you have families, you have, maybe some guys and girls that are staying together with more than one bathroom if possible. And so when we were in Calgary, I mean, yes, my daughter was in a room, I was in a room, and I think you were on the couch or something like that. But
couch,
Right.
some bath.
Oh no, you bunked with me. We had somebody else come and sleep on the couch. So, all of a sudden it becomes a totally different, I guess you could say, mindset. Whereas in a hotel, there's no walls. You walk in and guess what? There are the beds. There's this, there's that. So there's a definitely different defining feel, right? Also with the Airbnbs, most of them are what, 2-night minimum, 3-night minimum.
That's true. Yeah.
So again, if we're only in for a night, I don't think I'd ever stay at an Airbnb because, again, they won't allow you to just stay for one night.
Yeah.
Then there's your taxes.
Yes.
Right.
And again, when that number I pulled, it said, that $460 was everything, but I did not check out, because I didn't want to buy it. But would there be additional fees? Right. So I got to the checkout.
Yeah.
Is it $100 for a cleaning fee?
That's right.
So there may be some hidden costs. Now, don't get me wrong. For the last several years, we've been going to PEI and we Airbnb at a cottage.
Yes.
So we have the cottage. We're close to the beach.
Right.
So that makes sense. I couldn't imagine, I guess, unless you're on an all-inclusive resort, staying in a hotel so that you can have beach play.
So I get it. I get it.
But again, there's pros, there's cons. I'll throw it out there to the audience.
That's right.
What do you find worth it?
Well, and you know what? Again, I think that they both, like you said, have their pros and cons, but it is unique to see a comparable like that because for some people that are budget conscious, a lot of times they would just automatically think, oh, it's cheaper to go Airbnb. And it's not.
Not
right. Not in every case. And always, I always say compare apples to apples. Right. And so when there are extras or again, the amount of days or how many people, all of a sudden it's no longer apples to apples. So yeah, I think that's awesome. Let's go.
Yeah. It's fun little topic to throw out to the audience today.
Okay. Well, let's get into real estate.
Yes. What do you got, Roy?
You know what? I was thinking the other day, early in my career, I remember a prominent builder, an affordable builder, used to promote price per square foot. So if you wanted to build with them, it was $69 a square foot. Now, $69 a square foot is not expensive at all when you look at construction. Now, what you and I were talking about is that when you look at the price per square foot, there are so many dynamics. Is the land included? Are the permits included? You know, what style of home are you building? What quality are you building? There's so many different, features when you're building a home that can change the price per square foot. So when we have people call us up and say, look, we're looking for a piece of land so we can build, we try to say, listen, do you have an idea of how much you want to spend per square foot? They have no idea.
No.
No idea.
I don't think they've broken it down
Oh,
that points.
Oh, I agree. I agree. And so I was looking online between New Brunswick, of course, to some of our other major areas, so Ontario and Alberta. And some of the items when you're building, yes, here in New Brunswick are definitely more affordable. But you'd be surprised. There are also other parts of building a home that are quite a bit more expensive here. So sheetrocking, drywalling, and so forth seem to be more expensive in New Brunswick. Whereas when you look at your garages and finishing a basement, even the roof, doing the roof in some of those areas seem to be higher. But when you go from province to province or city to city, even right here in New Brunswick, if you base Moncton, Fredericton, and St. John and you speak to the builders that are there, you'll still get a range of price per square foot. So when you're building, it is nice if they can give you one price. Here it is from start to finish. But it is so difficult because there's so many X factors. They're not buying all your materials and supplies today. They don't know exactly how much. So a lot of times they give what's known as allowances. So based on their price per square foot, they're giving you an allowance, and you would be surprised that those allowances are not going to always give you everything you want. It doesn't take long for, that allowance
That's so.
oh yeah, to be gone. So when you're looking at price per square foot, the one true item that you have to take into consideration is not just your needs, but truly your budget. Okay? Because when we talk about price per square foot, and we're talking about a kitchen, your countertop alone could be $20,000, right?
No thanks.
I know,
But
right? But
to some people,
that's just the counter.
yeah.
You even have the cabinets.
Yeah.
So you just want to make sure. And yes, some people will go, the extra on maybe the kitchen, but now the rest of the house may show that, again, the quality in one area is not the same throughout. And we see that many times. We'll walk into a home, it's like, oh my goodness. And then we get to one room, it's like, wow. And where we see it a lot is on the exterior. Sometimes you'll see the exterior really rough and you get in, it's like, oh my goodness, this is beautiful. And we had one we were in not long ago that the siding was done, the windows were done, the roof was done, a brand new garage. But you walked into the house and they had no more money to spend. And it was like walking back into 1976 because that's how it felt inside the house. So,
Yeah.
so to each their own, but please keep in mind that when you are looking at price per square foot,
Yeah.
there are just so many determining factors, but you still have to compare, just like I said a moment ago, apples to apples. If you go to one builder and it's this much per square foot and you go to another one and it's more, you want to know why there's a difference. It's not just what they're putting in their pocket. It could be the quality, could be, again, just the brands that they use. So it's just very important making sure that you are comparing apples to apples when you look at building.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask those important questions. You had brought up about the lots, and not every lot is going to be exactly the same, even if it's within a subdivision.
That's
It
right.
may need more fill. It may need more extra labor to prepare for the lot.
That's right.
So
That's right. The unique thing about a lot is that you could spend 25, 35, $55,000 for that lot. If you're buying it from a builder slash contractor, a lot of times HST is applicable. Sometimes you're lucky if you buy just a single lot somewhere, there is no HST. So that is the difference again of a 15% swing just on that. So on a $60,000 lot, that's 9 grand. So, it doesn't take long to add up. That doesn't mean you look for lots that are not part of, because again, it still could be a better lot. And like you said, it may be prepped and ready to be built on, where some of the other ones, you're spending 20, 25, $30,000 just on prepping the lot.
yeah.
right?
So this acre does
Yeah.
not equate to this acre.
You're right. You got it.
Yeah.
So you definitely have to look at the full picture and making sure you're comparing, like I said, similar products, similar lots, similar properties,
Yeah.
and hopefully similar prices.
You kind of mentioned as well, when it comes to the products itself, we've had some instances where, let's say, there was a hurricane down in Florida, and so a lot of our lumber or mostly plywood, things like that, to help gets kind of shit down there.
Oh, I agree.
And so then we have a bit of a supply issue, and so now the builder may come back to you and say, yeah, here's the quote, but your plywood's going to cost 10% more.
Oh,
So
I agree.
and like you said, that $5,000 here and 10 grand there, boom, there's your budget.
Watch for that too, because many builders and contractors will put an X factor in that states that if these prices are not what they seem to, be today when they buy them, then at the end of the day, there is the ability to change the quote. So just because they give you a quote doesn't mean that they have to stand on that quote on that price. Okay. Let's go off the market.
Sounds good.
Okay. You said again, springtime, we're not in the summer just yet. And I was talking to you about what I've seen more and more year in, year out. And that's these e-bikes.
Oh yeah.
They're these e-bikes, right? And these e-bikes seem really cool. And everybody I know that has one, they love them.
Yeah.
But my $64,000 question is, hey, guess what? Is this really what I need? The price of it, the maintenance of it, how often I use it. I mean, I understand. I mean, I have a nice bike at home. My wife bought me a few years ago. If I use it once or twice a year, I'm lucky, and so I'm not, of course, one of those, every week I've been out twice, 3 times. And maybe if I was, I'd want one even more, but the same notion. I can pick up that bike anytime and have it ready and off I go. These e-bikes, you have to have them charged. Average for the charge is approximately, again, 45 to 75 miles, but you can get up to 100 miles depending on where you are, time of year, everything else, how many times you charged it. Again, the lifespan of a battery is about 3 to 5 years is what they say. But I really think you're almost servicing almost like another vehicle,
Yeah.
right? What are your thoughts on e-bikes?
Well, like you said, the lifespan of the battery itself kind of scares me a bit, because you had mentioned, good e-bike, average e-bike is around $1,500.
Yeah.
I mean, that's on special. That's on
special.
sale.
Yeah.
And again, it might have limited mileage compared to some.
Oh,
of these,
and you can spend thousands on one.
Yeah.
Right. But go on.
So when it comes to the battery, is it like your cell phone, where a lot of us, we're supposed to let it die before we charge, but in our profession, we don't do that. We get down to 20%. We're like, oh crap, where's the charger? And so it will, of course, deplete the battery's efficiency over time. I like the idea of just, I'd save room, but of course, the e-bike's not going to make any noise. In fact, earlier when I saw Tim in the parking lot, I shifted into neutral and I wanted to rev. You'd be like some.
Yeah, it didn't sound right.
No, it's a hybrid, so it did nothing. So that's what the e-bike would do. It'd just be like,
oh. I know, but how fast do you want to go on this bike? Like it's almost like
fast.
Right, I know. I don't want a motorcycle. Right, I don't want this, I don't want that, but I still want to go.
That's the thing. Okay,
30, 40 miles.
You buy one, you hop on it, you grab your bike helmet, or you grab your motorcycle helmet.
Well, it's just, and again, I love the idea. I'd love to have one. I just, when it comes to cost and when it comes to maintenance and when it comes to, I guess, again, really the do's and don'ts of owning one of these, I just don't know if I could maintain it the way it should be maintained.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But I mean, out in the countryside, a lot of twisty, fun roads to go on.
Yeah. And again, listen, if you go out on it and you enjoy it, that's great. I'm old school. You know that. Getting on a bike there and.
Well, that's a good point. If you have one, let us know, and maybe we can tip the scales, and Tim will get one, and I could try it. It's like Tim's boat. Tim's got a great boat. I don't need a boat. I just need Tim.
That's right. Here we go. Well, again, so if you do have an e-bike out there, it would be great to
love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
Good or bad, of course.
Well, yeah. I mean, really, have they been around long enough to really know the lifespan? Like I said, my bike, I can sit there another 10 years, and then when I'm ready to use it, I can get on it and start pedaling. I don't think you can do that with those. And so, again, there's what I would say is the value add and value loss. If you're using it, there's probably a big value add for them. If not, of course, at some point you're going to want to get on, try to charge it. The battery main, it's just
And does Michelin make winter tires for it?
yeah. Do you see the size of those tires?
They're pretty
They're
big.
pretty big on a lot of those, right? So
On a day like today, we
yeah.
go.
Okay, here we go. We used to make fun of those people with those big. Anyway,
Yeah.
and
Now that's the thing.
well, and so you and I were talking
Yeah.
about what did you do to your first bike?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so my first real bike, we all kind of grew up. You had like the tree school, all that stuff.
yeah.
But I was growing up. My first real bike was probably like two bikes put together,
Yeah.
and it was spray painted. And so here I am out going joyriding. I'm going down a hill,
Yeah.
and of course, being a young punk, I pop a wheelie. All right, I'm feeling good.
You're feeling good.
I'm feeling massive.
You got it. You got
right?
it.
And the front tire fell off. So now you're left with a very important choice. How long can I hold a wheelie?
Yeah, I know.
Or do I bail out?
Is that what that scar's from? No, no, no.
That's my Harry Potter scar. So eventually, as gravity would have it,
Oh, yes.
the forks dug into the pavements, and I became Superman
Yes.
for about 3 seconds.
Yes, okay.
And again, still
No phones.
very masculine.
Yeah,
And you know what? Here's the thing. When you flip over your handlebars, that doesn't hurt. The ground does.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Here we go.
So,
And good to know.
yeah. What about, do you remember
Well,
your first bike?
well, double things. I remember one of the bikes you said about spray painting that one. Actually, I didn't like the color of mine. I hand painted it with I thought was this really cool gray.
Yeah.
Well, it was the ugliest gray going. In fact, I rode it to school once and realized how bad it was.
Yeah.
I never rode that bike again. But I remember this one time, you're riding, you said the Papa Wheelie.
Yeah.
So I used to always ride with no hands, right? Pretty common, right? And I had some little firecrackers. So I thought I would light one with no hands and then I would throw it.
Oh,
Well, of course, by the time you light it, try to focus on it.
yeah.
Well, guess where it popped? Right in my hand.
no.
Right? So it pops. Guess what I do? Bubble, bubble,
Yeah.
bubble, right? So, yeah, as kids, we may not have been the swiftest, but, hey, guess what? We're here to talk about it
It was
today.
it was the Wild Wild West back then.
Oh, yeah.
The fittest of the survival of the fittest.
So, yeah.
Yeah. We didn't have warning labels.
And I didn't have a helmet.
No.
Yeah, I didn't have a helmet. No, my
Too
goodness.
expensive.
Well, we know what we used to tell the kids that wore those helmets is
Oh,
anyway. So no,
We were mean. weren't
yeah,
we?
see, we were.
Yeah.
Wear your helmets.
That's right.
No fireworks.
Elbow pads,
No
knee
firecrackers.
pads, whatever.
That's right.
Whatever Dad tell you.
Tighten your front tires.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll be all good.
Yeah.
Okay, so off the market we've been.
Yeah.
Let's go back on the
Yeah.
market. What you got for me?
Well, I'm going to wheel you back
Okay,
into
wheel me back in.
again. I know we throw out the word COVID quite a bit, but something that was very popular is we had to shift in many dynamics, and of course, one of them was virtual tours.
Yes.
And so I think back to the days where the mask, the gloves, whatever. Don't want to think about that. So we would, some instances you weren't able to even get in the house, and again, that's the seller's choice. Or you're obviously not in the city, in the province or whatnot. So we go around, we do virtual tours, we do walkthroughs, all that good stuff. And it got me thinking, I know I've tested some virtual reality in the past. Is the technology there? Is it a thing where, let's say we have a buyer's consultation, we bring someone in the office and we say, you want to look at a house? Boom. We put what are they called? The Meta Quest on them, the Apple Vision, whatever.
Oculus.
And the Oculus, and we say, let's take you through one of our listings.
That's right.
So there you are in our office, and you have the controller, and you're virtually walking through the house. Is that a thing? Of course it is. Who to funk it, as they say.
Yeah.
So it got me thinking, all the times that we tried it and things like that. It's great, it's fun, it's interactive, but after about an hour, I start to feel a little seasick, a little motion sickness.
20 minutes for me.
Yeah, very common. And it got me thinking, well, okay, so if we were to do that, and let's say this took off, this was a thing that every brokerage was doing.
That's right.
We're looking at the house, we're walking through it, we're feeling a little queasy. Are we queasy because of the motion sickness? Or are we queasy because the house is not a good fit for us?
That's right. That's right.
So I think that it would play with your mood. It would play with your brain activity, if you will. And it could deter you from getting the house.
And you know, the way I look at it is great to be able to see where technology is going in so many signs with real estate. We look at being able to look at properties and say, okay, what if I wanted this style of flooring, or what if it was this color? But going to this point where it almost becomes a video game,
Yeah.
it's just
So again, what worries me with that is, Tim and I have done hundreds of virtual tours.
yeah.
And I used to do like, we go in, we take some video, we put a little music montage to it, la, 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 and then I got away from it because I'd rather just talk through the video, because what can't you tell as a viewer?
Yeah.
Smell.
Well, smells.
You the house could be fabulous, but they have 20 cats.
Well, I did one the other day,
Yeah.
and the floors were sloped. And so while I'm walking up the stairs, you cannot tell
Yeah.
when you're on that. So what ends up happening is, I was saying to the client, I said, listen, I said, right now it's sloping from right to left, and it's about this much and so forth, and you can feel it, and in this room, yes, you can tell that from this wall to the center, it's dipping down. And they're like, yeah, we can't tell. And then I'd go to the door frames and I'd say, can you see that? There's a little bit of an angle there. And they're like, no. So again, it's so difficult, because the onus comes back on us to be not only your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, everything. But again, in buying a home, there's also your gut. It's your gut feeling. And it's so hard when you're not in that home to have that gut feeling, that emotional feeling of, yes, I want this, or no, I don't. You agree?
I agree. And don't get me wrong, a virtual tour is a great starting tool.
Okay. I agree.
And if your buyer has the means of, okay, yes, what you show me looks good, I'm going to hop on the next flight.
And stay at an Airbnb.
Stay there, or hotel, whatever is your choice. And to get you in physically, of course, that's
How are you going to get there, on an e-bike?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
if
from
we put
Ontario.
everything together, all these are segways. Here we
That
go.
was 1,000 kilometers away. I'll see you. Can you charge those in the wild? Probably not. Well, I know, like when you and I have gone to major metro cities,
Oh,
it's
yes.
cool.
Oh, they're
e-scooters.
everywhere. They're everywhere.
I like the idea of
Yeah.
you hop on the e-scooter and
Yeah.
away you go, and
Off you
you're on your destination. Screw it.
Yeah.
You put it in one of their charge things. That's cool.
Yeah.
We're not there. We're not.
Well, do you notice many of the cities like that? They just drop them. It's like they're here, they're there, wherever, right? And so, I don't know.
That's a shame.
Well,
But so I wanted to bring up the fact that, like you said, you can't see it, or sorry, you can't smell, you
Yeah.
can't, some things are palpable,
Yeah. No,
or dampness and things like that. So in the back of our vehicles, you and I, we have great, all the tools we need to do our job. Say, like, we're putting up a sign, we're fixing a sign, we got hammers, we got nails, we got all kinds of cool stuff. But after all these years, I still forget to bring a ball. That is a good tool. So we're talking about marbles. Okay,
Marbles.
that would look better in your pocket as opposed to a big stress ball. But I should bring a ball to a virtual tour.
Yeah,
and
but
just so I was like to show you how sloped the floor is. Oh,
that's right. Most phones have levels and everything else, but you can't be on that if you're on a virtual tour and so forth.
Yeah.
So you're right. But it
Try to
is.
think outside the box.
Yeah, I know. Okay, good. Good for you to do so.
I'm trying.
At what price per square foot?
Yeah.
But anyway, the funny thing is what we're saying is, when we watch technology is great, but to what extent it is to you, for us, what we want is, we want you to know that we are here. We will help every which way when you're looking at a home, but a home does not feel the same way unless you're either standing in it, being able to smell it, see it, feel it, and so forth.
Absolutely.
But the big thing is the fact that in our market right now, where it has softened a little, where you don't have to be in that home within 6 hours, there are many homes that now you're able to get here. You're able to get here and truly digest everything it offers and figure out if whether or not, this is what you want to do, and call this house your next home.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate you joining us again. Once again,
Yeah.
I have an Airbnb that I need to cancel, so that's all the time we have today. I'm Michael Dempsey.
And I'm Tim Somerville, and this is Off the Market with Team Somerville.